Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today we're going to be talking about life. It's our life unit today. And, of course, lots of our lovely students out there are students in school preparing for exams and things like that, preparing to go to university or wherever. So you're always looking for a new way to memorize information and perform well on the test. Well, we've got a new technique that maybe you haven't heard of. It's called the Pomodoro technique. Have you heard of this particular method of studying before?
No, I'd never heard of it until I saw this. I think it's really a good idea. I was just telling Tom off the air that I'm trying to write some articles for a company, and sometimes I get distracted by my phone or I'm surfing the internet. I think this would be a good way to really focus a good amount of time, get some stuff done, and then reward yourself or treat yourself to a break. I'm really going to try this immediately, I'll be honest.
Yeah, so it's the Pomodoro technique. It's basically breaking up your study schedule into smaller chunks, and we're calling those chunks tomatoes, basically. The Italian word for tomato is pomodoro, so it's kind of the Pomodoro tomato technique. So let's find out what this is all about. Let's read through the entire contents of our lesson now one time.
For those with busy schedules, the demands of schoolwork can seem overwhelming. Luckily, there is help in the form of a tomato. That's the symbol of the Pomodoro technique, a popular study plan that's meant to heighten your focus and assist you in accomplishing all your tasks. Italian student Francesco Cirillo developed the technique when he started breaking up his study time into chunks. He'd work hard for a set time and then take a short rest. He monitored his time using a simple kitchen timer that resembled a tomato. Cirillo went on to name his system after that tomato, Pomodoro in Italian. Imitating this technique is easy. First, set a timer for 25 minutes. During that time, work steadily and avoid any distractions like social media. Then, when the 25 minutes are up, it's time for a 5-minute break. Each of these half-hour units is called one Pomodoro. Keep working, and after 4 Pomodoros, you'll be ready for a more extended break of 15 to 20 minutes. Many people find that taking regular breaks to rest their brain helps them restore their concentration and stay focused the rest of the time. Additionally, the technique makes large tasks easy to manage, with each Pomodoro carving off a slice of the whole job. It's become popular because it's not only effective, but also straightforward to implement. There are lots of ways to keep track of time and start piling up Pomodoros. Obviously, you don't need a timer shaped like a tomato. Any shape will do. Even your phone will be fine. Above all, it's important to stay focused for just 25 minutes of uninterrupted work. Try it, and maybe you'll see why the technique has become such a hit.
Okay, let's talk about the contents of today's lesson. We're talking about working smarter with the Pomodoro technique. Okay, so this is a method, it's a technique, it's something that you can use to help you study better if you're preparing for a test or whatever. And let's begin with the first paragraph here. It says, for those with busy schedules, the demands of schoolwork can seem overwhelming. Yes, indeed, lots of you have very busy schedules. You have to not only attend classes, but you have to do your assignments for your classes. You have to do reading assignments. You have to write papers. You have to prepare for examinations. And then you've got all those extracurricular activities, all those clubs that you're a member of, and you need to attend those meetings after school. So indeed, you do have busy schedules, and extracurricular activities can be overwhelming. It can be just kind of too much.
Yeah, overwhelming means you just can't even deal with it. It's just way too much for you, so you get stressed out. Sometimes at work, we feel overwhelmed. That's the adjective form of this word here, overwhelming. Often used when you're talking about homework or tasks or assignments at work. Or maybe you just think life is overwhelming. You can't deal with it all. So luckily, there is help. What's that kind of help? Well, it's in the form of a tomato. What? A tomato? We eat those. How can a tomato help me with all the homework or schoolwork I have? That sounds a little crazy.
It does sound a little crazy, but yes, indeed, we do have this help in the form of a tomato. We're not really eating a tomato. That's the symbol of the Pomodoro technique, a popular study plan that's meant to heighten your focus and assist you in accomplishing all your tasks. So there you go. We're not actually talking about an actual tomato. The tomato is a symbol of this technique, of this method called the Pomodoro technique. And what is that? Well, it's a popular study plan. You always need a plan when you're studying, and we have this in order to heighten your focus. Of course, when you're studying, you want to concentrate, you want to focus, so this method helps you focus more. And it also assists you in accomplishing all your tasks. So here we've got the word assist, and that's a verb. It just means to help you do something. Somebody can assist you. Gee, these boxes are really heavy. Well, let me assist you. Let me help you. In this particular case, this technique can assist you in accomplishing all your tasks.
Right. Assist is also often combined with ANT, assistant. If you're an assistant to someone, it's kind of like being a secretary to someone. When I was younger, they were all called secretaries. Now they're administrative assistants. But you're helping someone complete their tasks and accomplish. Yeah, you've done something pretty great if you've accomplished something. You've achieved or completed some sort of task successfully. This sounds like a great thing. How did it come about? Who thought this little Pomodoro technique up? We're going to talk about that guy now. He was an Italian student. His name is Francesco Cirillo. And he developed the technique when he started breaking up his study time into chunks. We'll often use that word chunks when we're talking about just portions of time. So if you have a chunk of time, you might be able to get more done than just having a few seconds or a few minutes. So you'll often see us or listen to us say, oh, I need a bigger chunk of time to get this done. Chunk is just a group of something. You could use it for chocolate. If you're making a chocolate cake, there might be chunks of chocolate in the cake. We also have chocolate chip cookies. Those chips are chunks of chocolate. So it's a thick, solid piece, but here it just means an amount or part of something. He started breaking up his study time, maybe 3 hours into half-hour sessions. How exactly did he go about it?
Well, he divided his study time into those portions, and so he'd work hard for a set time and then take a short rest. This sounds similar to sometimes how I exercise. For example, if I'm going to ride my exercise bicycle for 30 minutes, gee, 30 minutes sounds like a long time. So in my mind, I think, okay, let's just ride for the first 10 minutes, and after that, I'll kind of slow down and rest a little bit, and then I'll do another 10 minutes, and then I'll do the same thing, and hey, then I'll have 30 minutes. So he broke those times down into smaller chunks, okay? He'd work for a set time, and then he would take a short rest. So he'd take out his timer or whatever, or look at his stopwatch and say, okay, I'm going to study for 25 minutes, and then I'm going to take a 5-minute break.
Sounds like a good plan. If you're going to do this, you're going to have to pay attention to the time, right? So if you monitor something, you keep track of something. You might see monitor as a noun, which is used to describe some sort of device that's used for keeping track of something or checking on something. You have a monitor that's connected to your computer or the CPU. That's the brain of the computer. The monitor shows you on the screen what's happening. But here it's a verb. If you monitor something, again, you just follow the actions or the process of some activity to see how it's going along, see if there are any problems. He monitored his time using a simple kitchen timer that look like a tomato. To resemble something means to look like. For you cooks out there, if you're baking something, especially in the oven, we'll set that timer so it doesn't burn. For example, cookies, I always set the timer because I forget that I have something in the oven. So yeah, he used a simple kitchen timer that resembled a tomato, and that's where this name came about.
Yeah, it may have just happened to be a kitchen timer in the shape of a tomato.
Cute, huh?
Sometimes you see those for sale in kitchen supply stores. You know, kitchen timers can be boring with just the numbers, but sometimes they try to make it interesting for bored housewives or whatever, and they have these kitchen timers. I think I saw one in the shape of a chicken one time. Here we've got one in the shape of a tomato. It resembled a tomato, and Cirillo went on to name his system after the tomato, which is pomodoro in Italian. So that's the phrase here, to name something after something else. You might say that about various things in a society. Maybe a bridge was named after a famous person or something like that. In this particular case, he thought, well, because my timer looks like a tomato, I'm going to call my new study technique the Pomodoro technique.
So that makes sense. When you have children, perhaps you have a boy first and you want to name your first son after your husband or maybe your grandfather, someone you love. Well, that's how he came up with this name. Now, imitating this technique is easy. That's why it's so great. I think it's successful because it's really easy to start using. You don't have to buy anything special. We love that. So to imitate means to copy something or someone, or maybe follow something as a model or as a pattern. I was listening last night, I was on YouTube, listening to comedians who can imitate other people. I can't do that, so I find it fascinating that people have such a good ear. They can see the way other people talk and the expressions they make, and they can imitate them so closely. That's kind of funny. So imitating or copying this technique is easy. It's so easy, we're going to have you just sit right there, listen to our Chinese teacher for a few minutes, think about how it might be imitated, and then we'll be back to really tell you what the answer is.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 我们今天要看的是第11单元。今天呢，这一篇文章是篇章结构的练习。我们要注意几个小技巧，看看怎么样把这5个填出来。首先，我们知道这个标题有一个字看起来不太像英文呢。这个字 Pomodoro 到底是什么啊？文章内容会介绍给大家，但是这个字跟 tomato 是不是有那么一点点像呢？其实真的，这个 Pomodoro technique 讲的就是跟番茄有关。我们先看文章内容怎么说。首先，文章的开头他就提到说，像学生学校课业很多，那你每天有忙不完的行事历、行程表，那怎么办呢？接下来这句是很容易理解，应该就是告诉你解决之道。选项的 F, Luckily, there is help in the form of a tomato. 前面提出一个 problem， 而它的 solution 就是下一句。很幸运的，我们可以找到帮手。而且这个帮手是用番茄的形式。下面一句接着说 That's the symbol of Pomodoro technique. 从这边也就可以看得出来，番茄这样的形式是番茄钟工作法的象征，所以 F 这个选项是最适合不过了，承接前面的答案当做解决之道，还有承接后面说到它是一个象征。那这个其实是一个蛮受欢迎的读书计划，这个工作法呢，它可以提高你的专注力，协助你完成所有的任务。我们继续看第二段。第二段呢，提到这个番茄钟工作法是谁发明的？原来是一位意大利的学生，他的做法就是他把读书的时间分成了几个块状， 下面的第二个空格要填什么呢？前面说到请努力工作一段固定的时间，接下来空格后面提到名称的来由是来自番茄的意大利文。选项的 B, he monitored his time using a simple kitchen timer that resembled a tomato. 显然是最适合的，因为它是用一个像番茄的简易厨房计时器来监控它的时间。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, let's continue to talk about the Pomodoro technique, okay? So this is a study technique developed by an Italian student by the name of Francesco Cirillo. And, you know, he was probably intimidated by all the studying he had to do. So he broke up his study time into chunks, and then he used this timer, which was in the shape of a tomato. And he would use that timer to time his study sessions. He would study for 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break and then keep going after that. So basically the Pomodoro technique involves dividing your study time up into smaller chunks. And well, you know, if you want to do this yourself, how can you imitate this technique? How can you copy it? How can you do it yourself? Well, first, set a timer for 25 minutes. That sounds reasonable. Get out your book and maybe you're going to try to work on some math formulas or something like that. So yeah, just say, okay, I'll work on this for 25 minutes. And then during that time, work steadily and avoid any distractions like social media. Resist the temptation to reach over to that phone and check the latest Instagram posts or see if anybody pressed like to your latest Facebook post. No, just control yourself for 25 minutes. Just keep your hand off your phone and try not to be distracted by social media or the TV or whatever.
Or whatever. You might want to turn off your notifications on your social media apps so that you're not constantly hearing that ding or whatever you've set your notification to sound like. Yeah, I have to turn that off. I get curious. So when the 25 minutes are up, and that's the time you really focus carefully, you don't look at anything else, you're just doing work. When the time is up, it's time for a 5-minute break. I've been trying to do more breaks at home even. I get up and I jog in place, you know, get my heart going, do some exercise. So each of these half-hour units or portions of time is called one Pomodoro, one tomato. So keep working, and after 4 Pomodoros, you'll be ready for a more extended break of 15 to 20 minutes. If something is extended, it's lengthened. It's longer than it used to be. So for the ladies out there, if you've seen some of the beautiful long hair on your favorite celebrities, you might not know most of them have something called hair extensions. So it's fake hair that's braided on to their real hair very close to their head. Extension. So remember, extend just means to lengthen something out. In February, remember they had the holiday for students lengthened out because of the coronavirus, and they wanted the kids just to stay at home for a couple more weeks.
Indeed, that was a big problem. Hopefully it's been solved by now. You could also extend maybe the MRT, for example. Maybe they're going to extend the blue line out to Sanxia or something like that. But in this particular case, as you work longer, you can get longer breaks. So yes, after 4 tomatoes, 4 Pomodoros, you'll be ready for a more extended break of 15 to 20 minutes. That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, many people find that taking regular breaks to rest their brain helps them restore their concentration and stay focused the rest of the time. This is true if you are a tennis player and you're training all day long to get into the French Open or something like that. You're not going to be playing tennis 8 hours straight. You're going to start losing your focus. You're going to be daydreaming and stuff like that. So, of course, every once in a while, maybe every half hour or so, you're supposed to take your mind off of the tennis and give yourself a break. So, yes, indeed, taking regular breaks will rest your brain and will restore your concentration. So here we've got the verb to restore. That just means to return something to its original condition. Like here, our recording studio is in the Shida area, and there are numerous old Japanese houses nearby that are being restored. They're kind of old, they're falling apart, so they're fixing them to look like new. They're restoring those houses.
Right, or you'll often see old paintings being restored to look like the original, because everything gets old after a long time and you've got to, keep it in good condition. So, yeah, you can restore your concentration and that'll help you stay focused the rest of the time. Additionally, the technique makes large tasks easy to manage. Sometimes I procrastinate, which means you put off what you have to do because you don't want to do it, just because the job is so big. But I've started to just do a little bit every day, and it gets a lot easier to manage. So with each Pomodoro carving off a slice of the whole job. So as you have those big tasks and you have one Pomodoro, that's one 25-minute portion of time, right? Every time you finish one, you can carve or cut off a slice of the whole job, meaning you're finishing a part, and before you know it, the whole thing will be done.
Indeed, you're just, breaking these things down bit by bit. So with each Pomodoro carving off of a slice, then you're taking off each carving of the whole job, and the job is getting smaller and smaller. And it's become popular, this particular technique has become popular because it's not only effective, but also straightforward to implement, okay? You don't have to sign up for some kind of online course that's going to cost you 20,000 NT dollars or something like that, and they're going to guarantee the results or your money back. Nope, it's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. Straightforward means simple to understand. It doesn't require a lot of explanation. You can describe a person as being very straightforward. They don't beat around the bush. They come straight to the point right away. They tell you how to do something. So this is pretty straightforward, pretty simple, pretty direct to implement. And to implement just means to actually do something.
Yeah, to put some plans into action, or maybe to put a decision, into action. You start using it to implement, to use something, put it into effect. Now, there are lots of ways to keep track of time and start piling up those tomatoes or pomodoros. Hey, for all of you who have never studied Italian, you can say you know at least one word now. Pomodoro and ciao, which just is a greeting, huh? So obviously you don't need a timer shaped like a tomato. I haven't seen any sold here, but I haven't been looking for them either. All you need to do is just find a timer. So it says any shape will do. You don't necessarily need to go out and find that special tomato timer. But it would be cute to have one. They are darling. Look.
I like the idea of having a timer instead of your phone.
Yeah.
So you can keep your hand off that phone.
I think it's dangerous if you use your phone's timer.
Right. The temptation is just so high there. Well, since I'm looking at the timer,
just peek.
I might as well just, tap this other icon with my phone and I can check my Instagram pictures. So, yeah, I would suggest using a separate timer or a stopwatch or something altogether. Even a wristwatch would probably help. So, indeed, anything will do, any shape will do, even your phone will be fine, they're saying here. I guess maybe if you don't have anything else, then yeah, you better use your phone. Now, above all, it's important to stay focused for just 25 minutes of uninterrupted work. So yeah, 25 minutes and don't get distracted. It's only 25 minutes. Gee, that's like your bus ride from school back home. Anybody can do that. Don't get distracted.
It's not too long. I think it's doable for just about everyone. Says here, try it, and maybe you'll see why the technique has become such a hit. So you won't know if it works unless you try it yourself. It's interesting. We used to not have to talk about this sort of thing so much, but because everyone's life has become centered around, digital and media, social media, people don't focus very long on one thing. I think we have to get back to practicing the skill of really focusing, concentrating on one thing for a longer period of time. I think you'll be more successful in anything you do if you can achieve that. Right now, we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher talk about some important things, and then we'll be back to say goodbye.
我们继续来看，说了 Pomodoro 的名称，再来呢，切断工作的时间是这样子的：25分钟之后，然后休息个5分钟，再往下看第3个空格。再往第3个空格后面，我们再找一点线索。Keep working, and after 4 Pomodoros, you'll be ready for a more extended break of 15 to 20 minutes. 之后还有4个 Pomodoros, 25分钟的工作加5分钟的休息，等于是1个 Pomodoro。选项里面最适合的就是 E. Each of these half-hour units is called one Pomodoro. 我们再看下一段一开头第4个空格后面有一个 additionally 说此外，后面接的是什么？它接的是告诉大家，这个方法让你的大型任务容易管理。说起来是在谈番茄钟工作法的好处，所以选项里面哪一个是在谈它的好处呢？我们看到选项中的 A， 这真的就是告诉你让大脑放松，定时休息，真的是帮助你有工作的效率，帮助你保持专注，所以这个好处放在这里是最适合的。因此第4个空格选项我们应该要放 A。 再来下一段我们要做结论了，说要计时不见得一定要用这个所谓有一个番茄形状的计时器不管你用什么形状都可以，但是第5个空格会讲什么？既然是讲什么形态都可以，所以我们看到最适合的就是选项的 C， Even your phone will be fine， 其实就是用你的手机也可以。谈到这里，当然最后下的结论就是说，最重要的专注在25分钟的时间内要不断的工作，那你试试看也许是很有用的。好，我们今天讲解就到这边结束，我们下次见。
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today, and we wish you luck with this new technique if you decide to try it. We hope you will. I know I'm going to try it myself.
Me too.
As I try to memorize more Chinese vocabulary and Spanish vocabulary and other things like that. Yeah, I've been out of school for many years, but I still study.
Yeah.
I guess they say in Chinese you're going to keep on studying until you die, or at least until you're old. So thank you for joining us, and please join us again next time. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.